In this video today, we are going to be diving into content types and how to establish content types for your brand and what content types even are in the world that we live in today. We're gonna walk through how you go from scattered, not having clarity of what you want to create, to having clarity and really looking at content types as pillars. A crazy shift has happened in the content world where about a year ago, you could create videos and stand out, and it was actually less competitive. With individuals like Alex Hormozi, Gary Vee, they really emphasized, hey, you need to go out and create content. You need to build a personal brand and you need to be telling your story. And about a year ago, you could just go out and do that and hit success. However, with the use of AI and all of the different tools that exist today, the barrier to enter and create content is lower than it has ever been. You see a lot of comments about AI slop. You see individuals talking about how AI is ruining creativity. And it's really interesting to look at it for what it is. And what it forces you to do as an individual and as a brand is to establish what we call content types. Content types are pillars that your brand can live off of, and they break down into a few different categories. Top of funnel content is really about generating eyeballs. It's about going out and generating as much attention as possible that is on brand. Top of funnel content is all about an awareness play. An awareness play is not to sell your product right away. It is to capture the attention, have it funnel to a specific location, and then from there you have middle of funnel content. Your middle of funnel content allows you to actually build trust and build a relationship. If you were to think of this in an actual relationship, if I said, will you marry me today? You would be like, hold on, let's not move too fast. Let's go on a date and let's get to know each other, right? Your top of funnel content allows you to do that. It allows you to build trust with multiple different individuals. It allows you to express yourself in different ways. Your middle of funnel content is where you actually go on a date. You take the girl out, you pay for her dinner, you get to know the individual. That middle of funnel content is where you start to talk about your unique selling point as a business, as an individual. The middle of funnel content allows you to actually connect with your audience. Bottom of funnel content is about going very niche. It's about answering questions that your customers are asking you, and they're not going to go viral, but they are needed in order to build even deeper trust with your audience. And it's important to note that you really have to have all three of these work together. An example of that, top of funnel, would be I have a trending audio, it goes viral, it generates 100,000 views, but it has nothing to do with my product, my service, or even myself. What it does is it drives the awareness. That should then funnel to the middle of funnel content where I have maybe a video like this, where I'm diving in on a specific topic, I'm speaking in front of the camera, and then the bottom of funnel content is very niche, right? It's about a specific case study for a client or a testimonial from a client. What I see in the world that we live in today is everyone thinks, oh, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna film testimonial content. I'm gonna post that, and that is gonna be what drives the majority of new sales. It's gonna be my number one content that I'm putting out because it's gonna drive the most revenue. And the problem with this organically is that people just really don't care. They care about themselves. They care about the ability to come consume your content and take some sort of value. In the world that we live in today, there's a saying that attention is a currency. But really what attention is and what social media content, whether it's paid or organic, is it's borrowed attention. You're putting out a piece of content that is either going to entertain, inspire, or educate someone. And if you're not doing one of those things, you end up breaking the trust with the viewer or the consumer, and they ultimately start to not care what you're doing. So you have to have a unique approach to this, where what I like to do is I like to have top of funnel content, let's just say 2 days out of the week. Monday and Thursday is gonna be top of funnel content. On Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to be a middle of funnel content piece and a bottom of funnel content piece. You have to have diversity mixed into the content strategy that you're going out and you're creating. And from a paid advertising standpoint, it's the exact same. However, you're putting paid dollars behind those bets. You're going out and saying, this is the best converting content and it's gonna be what performs best. If you're putting paid dollars behind that and you have no clarity, you're gonna spend a lot of money and not have very great ROAS or conversion, which we'll dive into paid on a different video in the future. All right, so that is going to be the breakdown of the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel content. I've said it so many times in this video, but really it is the root, it is the foundation. If you're going and you're creating content and you are not able to identify whether the content is a top funnel, middle funnel, or bottom of funnel, it's not to say that it shouldn't be created, but there is a lane that it fits within. It's very important to identify that lane that it fits within and then ask the question, does this piece of content entertain, educate, or inspire? By pairing the content types and how the video actually adds value to the viewer, you're gonna have better conversion and ultimately build trust with your audience. If this was helpful, please like and subscribe, drop your comments below if there's any specific questions that you have, how we can help. Would love to connect with you on LinkedIn or Instagram. This is all that we do 24/7, working with individuals like yourself, brands, creators, and entrepreneurs. I hope this was valuable. I'll see you in the next one. Bottom of funnel content should not go by the wayside. Hang on, I'm still recording my workout. This is a very inaccurate workout. I need to save that. That's very disappointing, but we saved it.